Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with your other host,
Liz Novak.
Yes, and today we are doing, we're doing Doctor Who, Series 8, Episodes 8 and 9, both being Mummy and the Orient Express and Flatline, which were two really good episodes.
Right? Told you.
I know. Well, it was just, like I mentioned, in some of our earlier podcasts that we've done, it was so weird just, starting off with the way it did. I didn't like the first episode of this series, so it didn't really leave a good taste in my mouth. And it's funny because I think a lot of people feel the same, at least in the UK, looking at how the ratings they were about at 9.6, I believe. So they were very high for the first episode because, hey, new Doctor, Capaldi. And yes, there's always going to be a drop-off. There's always going to be a drop-off. But almost about 5 million viewers just dropped off. And again, yes, there's always going to be a drop-off for every show from the first episode. And yes, once you see the new Doctor, you're like, okay, cool, I guess I'll move on. But still, that's a big drop-off. So I don't think I was alone, at least, in feeling like, I wasn't that into the episode. So for the first episode of this series. So I went on a bit, but I don't know, I kind of, weaned off somehow. And it's Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. And, thankfully, able to find you to help podcast with us and watching these episodes now, they're really, really good. Like, it got a lot better. No, it got a lot better. But it's just at the time, I just was not, I was not a fan of it. And it's funny, too, because I always say, hey, we got to give Stephen Moffat some more time, which is what I always say. Because it's true. For some of the episodes, I think, that were, in Matt Smith's era that felt a bit rushed, I do think they needed more time. But I don't know. I just was not a fan of the first episode in this series, so it kind of threw me off. And now that, we're getting back into it, man, like, they're just really hitting it out of the park, I feel. Like, these last two were just amazing. How did you feel about them?
To be honest, I loved Mummy on the Orient Express a lot. I felt like it was really adventurous. It had some, really cool dark twists to it. It really brought, Doctor Who to what it really is. Him trying to save things and, trying to stop a big bad, but also trying to figure out what this big bad is.
Right, yes. Because I would agree. I feel like, as much as we loved some of the more familiar big bads, we've mentioned how, in our last podcast, that it is nice to see new bads because, eventually you start to know what they are, so you know their weaknesses or you just know so all of a sudden you start to have to add more things. Like, oh no, but now it can fly, right? Or something like that. Yeah. So it starts to become like, oh, okay, so, it becomes a bit too familiar. So to the point where, let's say that bad shit's going to go down, shit's going to go down when there's a Dalek, and that it's going to be bad. But the Doctor has beaten them so many times, so in a weird way, you do feel a bit secure, I guess, if you kind of get me. You feel a bit secure. So,
because
of course,
it's familiar.
Exactly. You understand that they're genocidal, genocidal, just overall, I can't even think of the word, just maniacs, essentially. I was thinking of some other words, but I think maniacs really just, is the main one. But still, you're familiar with them. You know what they're going to do. You know what they want to do. That's it. But an episode like this, it really makes you sit there and go, man, what's going on right now? Right? You might look at the mummy and you might be like, oh, it's just some mummy. But no one can see it. There's a time limit, right? And it's only killing certain people. What's going on? Why those people? Why is that happening? And it really throws you for a loop, and twist after twist, and I'm just sitting there going, I don't know what's going on, but it's also good that the Doctor doesn't either, in a weird way. Once he starts to figure things out, it gets weird, because he figures out things, and I sit there and I'm like, Doctor, I don't know if that was a logical jump, but hey, you're the Doctor, so you did it. You saved the day, so that's cool. Because usually I can run with the logic in the show, and I'm like, yeah, of course, that's exactly what happened. But for some reason, this episode, his logic was kind of just like, I know you don't see Black Dynamite, but Liz,
No.
but Black Dynamite, and I know you don't see. Damn it, it's funny because both references about to make, you haven't seen either show. You don't see Black Dynamite, and then you've never seen the Batman 1966 version. All right.
No.
But I'm gonna tell you, both do something really funny, and Black Dynamite does it as a joke. 1960s Batman does it, to completely seriously, right? So they'll do something where it's just, like, oh man, how do we catch this bad guy? Well, Batman, didn't we find him in a book? We did, Robin. And books are found in libraries. That's right. And library, if rearranged, is a Libra. That's right. And it just starts to fucking get like,
what?
Yeah, that's how I felt the Doctor was around the end of this episode, where it's just, wait a minute, but if we look at it this way and this way, and he's a soldier. And I'm like, yeah, Doctor.
I know, that was great. That was so great. I was like, wait a minute. Whoa.
It was just like, yeah, Doctor, sure. We surrender. Yes, Doctor, yeah. I mean, it made sense when you know he's a soldier. It's like, oh, yeah, we surrender, sure. But it was just, for me, again, maybe it's because I'm a human, it just felt so just out there. Again, a bit like Black Dynamite does it more, again, as a joke, but it's really funny because they'll just talk about, like, wait a minute, and we're writing on a chalkboard, and what's chalk made of? And it just gets to this point where all of a sudden they're correct. They found out who the bad guy was, or they found out who the villain was, or whoever, but they went so out there that it's just the funniest thing in the world.
I mean, yeah, like, I definitely agree. I'm gonna get to, all that later, but I really enjoyed, him figuring that out, and was like, wait a minute, he's a soldier? All right, this is a cool twist.
Yeah, but he's not just a soldier, but we'll get to that later, but it's very interesting, I think, because, talking about this, before we get into it, just talking about it from the beginning, not really giving much away in the episode itself, just, the idea that I really enjoy that they went everywhere Doctor Who I feel like is supposed to go, in the sense that, okay, I love the past, and of course it's a time travel show, so it's pretty obvious you're going to go in the fucking past, right? But sometimes it feels like those sci-fi elements are not removed because, of course, you're going to be in the past. It's going to be something sci-fi and then, like an alien or a robot or something. But I think it's really interesting when you're able to take it out of these historical sets, right? Because, because you realize all of a sudden all you're doing is either going into the past or even vice versa. All you're doing is staying in vice versa would be the future. Or, the opposite would be the future. So if you're not going to the past, what are you doing? You're staying in the present. And then it feels like you're saving, money because you're only in the present. Now, the present's fine. I love the present. Whatever the present is for that current series. It's always fun, I think, when you're either in the past, but not too much, or in the future. I feel like it's very hard to be too much in the future. But then again, I just love, time travel stuff like going, into the future and things like that. So I like that it made me think. It threw me like off course because it was like, oh yeah, we're in like a 1940s kind of thing. We're on the Orient Express. That's just where we are, right? It zooms out and we're in space. I was like, fuck you guys. I was like, that was good.
It kind of reminded me of Voyage of the Damned with, the Titanic.
Right, yes, a bit like the Titanic, I would say, yeah. Because it was just the idea that, hey, so, Titanic, oh, so you think you know where we are, but you don't. Also, another good show, which definitely you and I need to watch sometime soon, not even podcast, just generally watch, called Kamen Rider Den-O, which I know you've never heard of. But it's basically, Kamen means masked, like M-A-S-K-E-D, so you have a mask on. Superhero stuff, right? And it's a train that travels through time, which is very interesting.
Cool.
I think, a Doctor Who. Yeah, it's a train that travels through time, and, they fight monsters that try to feast on people's memories, but by going into their memories, you're technically taking a trip to the past. So, feed on their memories in a way so that when you do bad things in the past, it can alter the future. Right? So you have to stop these monsters before they do bad things in the past, like destroy buildings or kill certain people or something like that, so that the future is preserved or the present is preserved. But anyway, so it's really interesting because the train travels through, quote unquote, the sands of time. So it's a CG train that always goes like through the deserts or like through space or whatever, and then it goes through time that way. And it was very interesting to kind of see that concept here a bit. Like, it wasn't a time traveling train necessarily, but it was the whole CGI train thing, which I don't know why I just didn't think Doctor Who would do, Because when you think trains, it's like, oh yeah, in the past or whatever. So I saw it and I thought, wow, that's reminiscent of the tokusatsu that I watch, right? Like that's And this show came out in 2008 or 2007. No, 2008. I was correct. So it was interesting, I think, to kind of see like, hey, maybe that did inspire this, because technically tokusatsu is just Japanese for special effects. So it's like saying the word anime, where in Japan anime just means animation.
Yeah.
So technically this show, if you don't know this, Liz, Doctor Who has been brought to Japan. So like there's dubbed over Doctor Who in Japanese.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
one of the
did a little like behind the scenes things before this series started. They're doing like a whole special on, Doctor Who broadening to different places around the world.
Oh, that's interesting, because there are actually some clips of like Tom Baker dubbed in Japanese. So that long ago, like 70s, like it's been that long, I remember the guy who played Tennant, the voice actor who played Tennant, because, they get voice actors, of course, to dub them over.
Yeah.
So the voice actors will sometimes be anime voice actors. So the guy who dubbed over Tennant not only was like in shows like, I don't know if you ever saw G Gundam when you were a kid, or because I know your brother was into. So yes, he was in mind you, Japanese version, but the Japanese version of G Gundam. And a lot of other shows that I love, mostly Toku with being different monsters. And he was actually the main monster, as in like working with the good guys in Kamen Rider Den-O, and then he dubs over David Tennant. So I think that was funny,
awesome.
Where it's just like, very interesting stuff. But anyway, getting back to this episode. So it wasn't in the 1940s, right? It was in space. And then the Doctor is taking Clara there before we get to the whole Last Hurrah stuff, I want to mention this version of
That's
Don't
so
Stop
funny
Me
you
Now.
said that, because I was literally about to say Last Hurrah.
Yeah, but before we get to the Last Hurrah stuff, I want to mention this version of Don't Stop Me Now is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Because I heard it and I was
beautiful.
Yeah, because I was like, that can't be what I think it is. And then she keeps going, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I don't know, I just love that style for Don't Stop Me Now, especially because it's so fitting in this episode with Clara and the fact that she wants to leave. It was the perfect song they could have chosen.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with you there.
But, so how do you feel about this? So, I don't know, I'm sure you noticed it, and I don't know how you felt, but I was a little confused at the idea of just throwing away Miss Delinquent without any full explanation. You know what I'm thinking of. I can't remember her name exactly, but I always call her Courtney. I always call her some variation of Delinquent or something. So they threw her off, and she is. No, but I can understand, right, her wanting to leave because of, that last episode, to quote, speaking of time travel, to quote a Marty McFly, I was real heavy, Doc. Right? So it really was, though, last episode. So I can understand someone not wanting to stay. But it always, I don't know, it seems like these companions, like, who aren't Clara, feel like it's like they're being tossed around like Frisbees. I don't know. Like, it just feels weird. Like, not huge, like it's like, oh yeah, they were there, whatever. And I don't know, I'm just kind of, it feels weird that, maybe you heard an explanation that I didn't. Maybe I was just too busy writing notes, but I didn't notice them mention her.
No, because I think this was like a general step back from, I think, from the events from the previous episode, Clara got really angry with the Doctor, so this was kind of like her last big thing. So I think Courtney was just like out of the picture, because I guess the Doctor didn't want to endanger her either, so they weren't really going to bring it up. It was supposed to be Clara's exit.
Well, no, I get that. It's just weird that they don't bring it up in a way where, I know, like, again, we've talked about this, the idea of, we talked about it last podcast, where it's like we understand that there's a progression of time, right? So I'm sure there was progression of time because it's not like it took Clara like a day or a week to realize she should apologize to the doctor. I'm sure it took like a month or maybe even a bit longer. We don't even know. But what matters, I think, I mean, hell, that happened a lot with Amy and Rory. But at least with Amy and Rory, they would say, oh, man, hasn't it been like X amount of years? Right?
Yeah.
So we can sit there and go, oh, yeah, it's been X amount of years for them. But wouldn't it just be crazy if, like, the doctor just is hanging out with Amy and Rory and all of a sudden, like, they're wearing glasses? Or all of a sudden it's just like their hair's getting grayer and there's no mention of it.
Yeah.
That's how this kind of felt, where it kind of just felt like, I understand that the doctor wouldn't want to endanger her, but I think a little shout out for the person that you made a companion for, 2 weeks. I think it's good to, reference it, because it's not even like anyone can say, oh, well, they just wanted to write her off because no one was a fan of her. The episodes hadn't aired yet. They filmed them all before airing. So it's not like they're going to write her out of the show immediately. This isn't like a weekly episodic thing. I mean, it is weekly and episodic, but it's not a, long-running, as in, damn it, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Like, it is a long-running,
like a longer series.
Episodic show. Yeah, no, but, yeah, right? No, but the joke is, I know, right? It's just like, that's literally what it is. No, but to compare it to Tokusatsu, as I was bringing up earlier, you look at something like Super Sentai or Kamen Rider, Super Sentai becoming Power Rangers in America. That's a long-running, to the point where they'll only take a week or two off, and then they'll start the next show. So each series is about 48 to 52 episodes long sometimes. Like there'll be 48 or 50? Yeah. So what happens is that if there's something that they want to change mid-show, they can do it because they have enough. Like, so they're like always, I'm going to say 3 to 4 months ahead of themselves. So, of course, they're going to, have stuff prepared. It's not like, every week it's like, quickly, we must, we have to film all of this in the week. This isn't South Park here. But at the same time, they do that for South Park. It's not even a joke. But when it comes to, Tokusatsu, they are a few months ahead, right? So, but they don't film them all, at least in recent memory, they don't film them all, like all 50 before putting it out. So they have leg room to shift things if they need to change things if they want. So sure, it'll be a few months down the line, but they do have that leg room. The show does not. So if you didn't like Courtney, you would have been stuck with her, right? But it would just be strange because they have her on, in my opinion, without an explanation. Like they show her, but all of us, and they said yes. They did say, oh yeah, there's an opening, but you kind of just threw her in there, and now you just kind of throw her away, and it feels weird because it feels like
what I actually think. No, I mean I actually think it was because going slight off topic. Jenna Coleman was going to leave, and so this was, like, supposed to wind her character down.
Oh, no. I get throwing her away. We can throw her away, but I didn't hear talk of it. I don't remember a line, and you don't remember a line.
Yeah, it's a very vaguely, her character is very vaguely, like, vaguely mentioned right now. I think maybe, hopefully, they might bring her back next season, which is what I'm, if, I believe she might, but, I mean, that would be really cool considering Clara's still going to stick around, so I hope I hope they bring her in, because that would be really cool if she tags along in some more episodes. I'd like to see her.
Right.
She's pretty cool. Yeah.
Right. So moving forward, okay. So it's really funny that the doctor pulled an old man speech about planets that used to be there. Like, I think that was funny, right? Like, I really think that was funny that he was able to do that, because it was kind of just like, whoa, look at you doing that. But, and also another thing. Now, this one, I think, is where we really need that passage of time. Like I mentioned before, about the idea of we need to really know how long it is between episodes, because to us, it feels like she forgave him in a week.
Yeah.
Now, I know that I will admit, the Doctor has enough goodwill kind of like built up from being Matt Smith, from being the 11th Doctor, because he was very nice to her when he was the 11th Doctor. So I feel like maybe that's why she's kind of putting up with it in a weird way, because it's like he's nice now, but he is a little mean sometimes. But still, he
I
isn't
like it
that.
though.
Yes. So one thing I want to mention though, right, is so I'm sorry. Back to what I was saying though, before I even mentioned anything. Yeah, it just feels like don't you feel the same, or do you feel different? Because it feels like it was too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. One thing I want to mention, they. Well, I'm happy we agree. It felt like they really were going to have her leave, which I think was a little frustrating because it's one of those things where just like Amy and Rory, right? So, the idea that they're going to make it feel like they're leaving and you feel sad about it because you're like, it's like a goodbye, a final goodbye, and then it isn't. And I don't know if she's going to be around next season. So we're not going to talk about that, right? But the idea is that right now we know that she's staying. And it felt like this episode would have been a nice way to kind of just push her out the door. And then even if she would have reappear for Christmas, because again, he always pops around for dinner, right? Push her out the door. Push her out because it really does, to be fair. It's funny because everyone's like, no, he doesn't. He did with Amy and Rory. I'm not saying it turned out well for them, but he'll do it. Right. So he'll pop around for dinner. It's just that, it was just weird, I think, because you start off the episode and she says that, and then they talk about the last hurrah, right? And again, I've been pushing for her out the door for a while.
You and everybody else.
Sad, right? And it's funny because, I don't know what some other people might be, what their problem with her maybe, because again, I don't know if I said this before on the air, I love her as an actress. I love her character. Like, I think she is fun. It's just that, like we've mentioned before on some of our other shows, if it's your first time listening, here's what we have to say. If it isn't, very sorry, right? But it's the idea that she has overstayed her welcome only because she was written in a way where she had a purpose. And then her purpose is, she completed that task. As quote from Clara, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
So it's just weird to me that she would continue to stay here, and in a way, it feels like she's overstayed her welcome. As much as I love the character, as much as I love, the bubbly personality, and Jenna Coleman really brings a lot to this. But I just feel, I don't want to tell an actor, I don't want you to have a job. Right? It feels weird. When she's doing everything right, it's just the way she was written in there, she was written to have her own story arc, and then it felt like she overstayed her welcome. And guess what? I feel the same exact thing about, Amy Pond. And you know what? For the many things that I feel about Rose, I don't feel like Rose. Okay, I feel like Rose overstayed her welcome, but that's not really because of the fact that she had her own story arc, because in a way she didn't. She became that being, but it wasn't like she was always built up to become that being that was in the first, that ended up saving the Doctor. She wasn't built up to become that. She just became that. And then with Tennant, I liked her with Tennant, but then the whole love sort of thing came up, and I wasn't a big fan of that. And then she kept on appearing while being cool. Some of the flashes. She kept on appearing in season 4, and I was like, not again, no, not again. Thank goodness, though, the Doctor understood that he cared about her, but she can only get a consolation doctor.
Yeah, but it really hurt
I'm
him
okay
to
with
see
that.
Rose go with him, so.
The first time. The second time, he just gave her a consolation doctor as a prize. Just take it. Just please, take this one. I would like you to go. I'm sorry. In my canon, both doctors looked at each other and was like, I'm not fucking going with her. Well, you're going with her. I'm staying here. No, that's not happening. No, I'm going with her. You're staying. No, that's not happening. And they both were doing rock, paper, scissors. And she's crying because she's like, oh, they're playing rock, paper, scissors to try to see which one of them goes with me. If I lose, like if I win, I don't get to go with her. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, come on, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. I gotta be honest. I have to be completely honest. For a couple of those specials, I was wondering if the real Doctor ended up going with her because he lost.
Oh my god.
Like I was wondering if we were stuck with a fake doctor until he would generate it, and I'm like, oh, it's the real doctor. So we did send the other one.
That would be great. Oh man.
But anyway, all jokes aside though, yeah, I really don't think that Rose overstayed her welcome because of her purpose. Just, I didn't enjoy what they did with her character after, but I think that with her and even with Martha to a certain degree, I liked it when they just felt like, oh, hey, we are companions traveling together, and there are overarching, stories and stuff like Bad Wolf and everything, but they aren't necessarily tied to the person, because when you tie them to that person and then they're done, it's like, okay, well, that's cool. Like, you can go now. And it's like, no, they're staying. Oh. And it's not like Doctor Who of yesteryear where they had 1 to 2 airing every week, so that we could sit there and go, yeah, no, like we really had a lot of this companion. We're good with another one, in like a couple of these serials, right? Versus we only get 1 series every year. Sometimes we don't, right? Sometimes Christmas never comes. Christmas special does, but not the entire series, not all of Christmas. So sometimes that happens, and we have to sit there, and it's just like we might have to deal with that same companion, or not a companion, but no companion, and then all of a sudden the series comes back, and it's like, yep, that companion again, and you're like, damn it, I thought things were changing.
Why would you do this to me?
Why would you? But anyway, all right. So they made me sad about Clara leaving. They made me laugh with the doctor talking to himself.
Yes.
Right? And then also the doctor starts talking.
So much.
Yes. And then the doctor starts talking to that other guy, and it starts to become a murder mystery. Because, the Orient Express. Right? So it becomes a murder mystery, at least for a bit. And I really enjoyed that. That kind of feeling of like, wait, who done it? Because we kind of know, oh yeah, it's a ghost mummy, which is a weird sentence, but it's a ghost mummy. But to them, it's like, but who done it? Or rather, who unleashed the ghost mummy? And it's like, you know what? It's like, yeah, who did unleash that ghost mummy? So
I really enjoyed the steampunkness to it.
Yes, I enjoyed a lot of, what was going on in this episode. The doctor gave that guy a jelly baby, by the way.
Yes, I
don't know if you noticed that. Okay, so I died. Because he gives him one. The guys are confused at what it is, and I'm screaming because I'm like, it's a jelly baby. Would you like a jelly baby? Like, I'm just freaking out because I'm like, jelly baby. Oh God, speaking of that, have you seen the picture of it was spread through the internet? It was the doctor asking Amy, would you like a jelly baby?
Oh my God, no.
All right, it was different panels, and it was just like, Amy, would you like a jelly baby? And she's like, sure. And then her baby turned to mush.
Oh my God.
It was horrible, but it was so funny, but it was so horrible. But anyway, trying to talk about, I feel like it's really funny because I feel like we're just talking about all these different parts of Doctor Who out of order, and I realize it's in the true spirit of Doctor Who, though. So we can't really be mad.
It's just a big ball of wibbly wobbly Tommy Wimey stuff.
Wibbly wobbly jelly baby stuff. So the doctor offers the guy a jelly baby, and right. So moving forward, okay. So when that lady was talking to Clara, I don't know about you, but I got so nervous because I'm like, no, lady, don't make Clara fall in love with the doctor. Because you saw it. It was just like, no, because you saw it. She was just like, oh, just a man. And I'm like, you shut your pie hole. You shut it.
Oh, my God.
And you keep it shut, lady. All right? Your grandma died. You might be next. Shut it. And then it was sad when she was next. I was like, no, that was just a joke. Like, don't.
That's so horrible.
No, when it actually happened, I was sad. But when at first I was like, you shut your pie hole. And then all of a sudden, no, because it's like, I don't want another, we've mentioned this on the air, I don't want another doctor, companion, a human companion, completely human companion romance. Not a big fan of that, unless, right? Here's the only time I'm a fan of it. And it's funny because this was actually in a Doctor Who parody, but I still consider it valid. If the doctor says, I'm done with this, right? I'm settling down because technically there will always be a me to save the world. Technically, right? Even as past selves, they've been around, right? So in a way, it's like there will always be a me to save the world because time travel. You know, I'm done, right? Then I'd accept it. If he's like, oh, and I fall, you know, and I've fallen in love, and this is me settling down at least for a bit. Okay, right? I get that. Because technically, if the doctor, it's funny, but if the doctor settles down until this person dies, then he's not saving the world. Time travel, always saving the world, right? No matter how long he's away, he can always end up being elsewhere to save the world. So
yeah,
I'm okay
he's totally
that,
there.
Right? He's always there. So I'm okay with that. But the idea is, I don't like it while he's currently on his travels because it just, I don't know, it feels off to me. I just like them as best buds. You know, all companions as best buds.
Yeah, that's what I loved about Donna a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. You know, she's one of my favorites in the modern era. But anyway, so Clara apparently gets stuck in a room with a space sarcophagus. So that's a problem. Right? Like, that's not, apparently, though, it's fine, though. No mummy comes out of the space sarcophagus, like, directly out of it, thank God. But when I saw the space sarcophagus and then they told me what it was, I was like, well, it's Clara's time to die, because it wouldn't be the first time. I'm leaving. Person dies. Well, it was nice knowing you, Clara. No, she's not dead. You know, what's funny is not only is she not dead, but she is so not dead. Like, okay, like I understand. No, because here's the thing. I understand, you know, okay, look, there are a lot of characters, especially the Doctor. I mean, the Doctor is the number one character notorious for this, being protected by plot. Being protected by plot, right? And I say that because of the idea that, you know, like people can be shooting a gun at the Doctor's face, right? Like literally everywhere. Boom, 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 boom. Put it right through his head. And then the trigger won't work.
Yeah.
Like the Doctor is completely protected by plot, obviously, because statistically, of course, you know, suspension of disbelief, because he'd be dead by now, right? But Clara was so protected by plot that not only does the mummy transport, but when it was targeting the woman, she and the woman were able to leave the room.
Yeah.
That's how much she's targeted by plot. I'm sorry, she's protected by plot.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really enjoyed Maisie running with Clara. It's like, everybody's always running, no matter where they are.
Yes. But no matter what, protected by plot is my point. But anywho, so one thing I want to mention that I was happy about this episode, I hope you enjoyed it as well, the idea that the Doctor was figured out. Because I think it's gotten a lot smarter recently to kind of make it so that the Doctor gets figured out instead of just skating with either psychic paper or just generally being able to say, hey, I'm a doctor. Great. Because, you know, sometimes it works. If you're just walking on the street, okay, yeah, it works. And, you know, sometimes if you look official enough, you can pass yourself off as someone who's official. But it can be pretty weird, I think, when it's like it's invite only. It's the best of the best. Yes, you call yourself a doctor, but still, who are you? We don't know who you are in this time. And it would have felt weird if he would have just been able to skate through with that alone. You know, just, oh, yeah, you know, this is me, so I am, whatever. Like, you know, it would have felt weird. So I'm really happy that they had another episode where it's kind of like, you're not who you say you are. And it's like, yes, but I am the one that's going to save you. Because that's understandable. It's like, hey, there's murders going on. You can tell that I'm not the one murdering. So, you know, you need me. And it's like, damn it, we do.
It's like, yeah, you know, you call yourself a doctor, but what kind of a doctor are you?
Yeah, that was
like, that's the question.
Yeah. No, that's a question that isn't asked enough. And I'm like, you know what? It really isn't.
It's really not.
I'm a doctor. All right.
Yeah,
you know, okay.
Oh, okay. What doctor are you?
What I think is also interesting, right, is the idea that not only was the Doctor found out twice, it's like this recurring theme of he was found out by a soldier, which I like, because the soldiers are the people that are just really observant, soldiers or police. You know, I mean, some police, right? Usually higher level detectives. Like, you know, they'll find that out immediately. Like, something is off about you. Now sometimes when it's found out, it's usually like, oh, there's something off about you, but we're not going to investigate because right now there's, you know, something you need to help us with, supernatural murders, right? But in this case, it was just nice to have it be like, we're going to apprehend you because it just made sense. There's murders going on. You're not on the passenger list. You know, it might be you. So, yeah. And then here's where the episode gets weird, right? Here's where the episode gets real weird. So apparently they were all rounded up because they're scientists or people that are smart, and they were rounded up to stop this mummy, but the mummy was put on the ship in the first place?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Like, I'm with you guys, but okay. Like, what did you feel about that?
I thought it was interesting, you know, how they were all chosen to analyze the mummy, and then, like, once they find it, like, they, you know, the doctor figures that out, it's like, wait a minute, we're here for a reason. It's like, the train stops. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. This is not what we were supposed to say. It's like, yeah, we're all going to die now.
Yeah, it was just really weird.
Yeah, I definitely like it. And then it was like all of a sudden, you know, hard light holograms. There was a lab on the train. Wait a minute. But
it was.
I thought that was it was weird, but it was interesting.
Oh no, yeah, it was definitely interesting. And again, you know, as I said, I like that. You know, Doctor Who is going not exactly to its roots, because I mean its roots was a historical kids show, but still it's going going back to some of it, more of its, you know, sci-fi you know, stuff, doing its sci-fi thing, right? Because I really enjoy it, you know, it's a sci-fi thing, you know, and I really enjoy it. So I'm very happy. All right, I'm going to say sci-fi thing, and you're not going to laugh, and we're going to move on with this show.
Okay.
Sci-fi thing. Pass the test. You passed the test. So she's still laughing, everyone. She just has her hand over her mouth. But anyway, I hear it. We all hear it. We all hear you. We all hear you. You can't lie. You can't lie to the listeners. All 3 of them. You can't lie. They all know. But anyway, so apparently the mummy is killing people that are ill, which is interesting, I guess. I mean, the word targeting the weak, I guess, but it was a strange twist. Again, a lot of twists, which you had to sit there and go, all right, I accept this. I think before moving on. Yeah. Oh, by the way they made the mummy go through the doctor, that was freaky as fuck. No,
I enjoyed that so much, though.
I did too, but this episode and the next episode really have a great way, and I'll talk about it when we talk about the next episode in a few minutes. But the idea of they have a really, really, really good way of being able to take take horror, right? Not use your standard, which I feel like is standard at least now, blood and gore, right? And still craft something that's really, really terrifying. I'll talk about that more later. But still, I really enjoy that. I enjoyed this episode was able to do that. Because, yes, you might say, oh, the mummy looks ridiculous, it's whatever. But it goes through the doctor, and you're not sitting there going, oh, okay, cool. No, you're sitting there going either, oh, that's really fucking cool, or, oh. I think
my first reaction was, oh, man, that's so awesome.
That's what I said. You're either like, oh, that's great, or you're like, oh. I was the second one.
I know you are. It's okay.
It is okay, because I'm special and I'm beautiful.
You are.
So yeah, hooray. So I get a cookie, which is funny because I'm about to eat a cookie right after this podcast. That's my cookie. I deserve it.
Man.
So anyway, but so something else interesting. The idea that which it makes sense. It's just that I didn't know if the doctor was being cold or if he just understood what he had to do. The doctor was unable to mourn anyone because if you mourn, that takes more time, and then you will then keep more people on the death list, right? You'll keep more of a yes. I am good at words. I podcast.
I get exactly.
I speak on the radio for free. There's a reason this is free. No, seriously though. But yeah, you keep a higher death count. If you just keep on talking because you keep on wasting time, because time is really of the essence when all you have is 66 seconds. Yeah, of course. When all you have is 66 seconds, 66, and then even before that, it still does not take like 5 minutes. It takes about like a good 2, maybe. Like it was getting faster at that point, which was scary.
Yeah, because it was draining energy.
Yeah. So all right. So we figure out that it's sort of a vampire, but not really, but ish.
Yeah,
it's like vampire characteristics.
Only instead of going for blood, it goes for like physical or psychologically weak people, and it just drains them of all of the energy that they use to either live or think, and it just triggers like a heart attack because it drains all that energy in that amount of time that it takes it uses that energy for 66 seconds to get to the next person.
Yeah, I do feel weird.
Really cool.
I do feel weird about them saying that mentally, that people that suffer from like depression or PTSD or whatever, that they were considered weak.
Yeah.
I thought that was a weird, but I like the word ill better. I think they chose a good word. Because I'm not saying that you chose the word weak, because that is basically what the doctor said earlier, but in a way where he said,
weakened.
Yes, weakened. Yes, that was the word. So, it's weird as a word, but then when they said ill, it's like, well, yes, technically mentally ill. Like, understood, it's not like you're saying that, so I get that, right? So it's understandable. Yeah. But it was weird, I think, because when the captain died, I thought, oh, he can overcome it because he's feeling confident. It's like, no. I was like, oh, that was disheartening. Right? Like, that was just like I thought he would be overcoming his fear. And it's like, no, he's going to die.
Yeah, but I mean, he hung on there for the last few seconds, and he was like explaining everything to the doctor of what he saw. Which I thought, that was really strong, and that was really strong of him.
Oh yes, no, that was perfect. I really enjoyed that, and also I really enjoyed the fact that the doctor lies, because in the beginning of the episode, they wrote him more like 11. And I'm not saying that I want the doctor to be written like 11, but what I'm saying is that for a lot of this series 8, the doctor has been written as what I consider a playful asshole. Playful. Fun. Okay, but kind of an asshole a lot. At least to Clara, right? And sometimes to the people around him. So I was, so it sometimes feels like he's quote-unquote not the doctor. Now, of course, each and every doctor has a different persona. Like, obviously, I mean, I've seen other doctors before. It's not like this is my first doctor, or that Matt Smith was my first doctor. I've been to this rodeo, right? I've done this before, right? This ain't my first time at a rodeo. Man. But it still feels like he's obviously a completely different person, right? And for the most part, here and there. So I was really happy that they were able to make people think, like, look, this doctor is different, but he's still the same guy that because, we made him lie not to have this woman die. No, made her lie so that it would be, so it's still him lying. It's still a problem, of course, as always. It's still a problem. Yeah. But it's the idea that he's lying for that good cause, which he has done in the past, which, again, has gotten him in hot water with his companions, but it's lying so that he was able to have everything seem natural and then take her pain away. And it was just like, wow. Like, it was like, you are a good man. You took her pain away. And you were able to see.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's still, I mean, granted, it's hard to remember for every single episode you go into, but, remember back during Matt Smith, rule number 1, the doctor always lies.
No. Yes, but I thought that the lie was, remember, the lie was, tell her that I can save her. So, of course, the doctor always lies. That's in my notes. The doctor always lies. So, yes, he always lies, but it still felt like a weird departure because it was, because usually a lie is to help someone.
Yeah.
Like,
but
usually
I think
it's
he did
a lie,
it more in, Clara's favor, too.
Yes. So it was just very interesting, where it was just like, it was a lie. It was a lie and a lie. So it's like, wait, which one?
Yeah.
Where's the lie? Where does the lie end and the begin? It's all lies.
And that is
Doctor
Who, everybody.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's the fucking Doctor Who in a nutshell. So yes, and it wibbly wobbly timey-wimey shell. So, oh, by the way, the doctor's saying, "Are you my mummy?"
Oh my God! I was waiting for you to say that. I am the doctor. I am the doctor, and I will be your victim this evening. Are you my mummy?
I was so mad because it was so good, and I thought, "Fuck, I like that." So yeah, okay. So I'm a little confused by the end. I would like you to help me with this.
Okay.
Because maybe you paid more attention than I did. So the doctor told Clara, "I saved everyone." Now I know that's a lie, because in my head it's like he's lying because it's only the two of them. So he says, "Okay, I lied. I did not save everyone. I only saved you." But then we go on the TARDIS and then we see the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little thrown off here. He saved everyone, or he only saved the other guy and her?
That's just the thing. I mean, Clara wakes up on that little beach on the planet, and
right.
He's trying to give her either what she wants to hear or what he feels, he should tell her. And I think it comes down to, no matter what, we have to trust him, because he always tries to do good, even if some might not make it out. He tries to go for, saving a bunch of people with, a couple casualties.
Right. So, in other words, he did save two of them, Clara and the other guy that he liked.
Yeah.
Not to say that, he didn't like the other one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was supposed to make you think that he saved them all, and whether he did or not, at least he did save, regardless, at least he was able to save Clara and, the technician or the engineer.
Yes, which was nice. I mean, I'm happy that he was able to save at least some people. Now, what made me sad was, and this is the first of these two episodes that did this, by the way, they give us people that I sit there and I'm like, that is a great companion. This person would make a great companion. I want to see them. And then they let them go.
I felt that in the next one.
But this one, too. I would have really liked those two to be, that other guy, that engineer guy, to be a companion with the doctor for at least one episode. Because you think about it, right? And it's like, well, Clara's on her way out. So have it be a different companion each episode. Or a different person for one episode each. And I will admit, yes, Clara fit very well in the next episode. But it feels like a weird slap in the face where it's like, oh, so you guys, she's going to leave, right? And everyone who wanted her to leave is like, yay! Everyone who didn't is like, oh, well, all right, I guess she's going to leave. And, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, no, not only is she staying, but she's going to be the doctor. It's like they wanted to just be like, hey, don't worry. Just stand right there, okay? It's okay. Hey, it's okay. Just stand right there. Now I'm going to curl up my fist and punch you really hard in the face. Hey, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. Because guess what? I'm going to kick you in the groin. Regardless of what you identify with as a gender, I'm going to kick you in the groin, and it's going to hurt. It's going to really, really hurt. And you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to have sex with your mother. It's just each and every way that you wanted to. No, because it felt like, basically like, and I'm going to whisper in your ear, I'm going to say, go fuck yourself. That's how it felt, as if to just be like, because look, I loved Clara, by the way, in this next episode. I loved her in Flatline. She really was a good doctor. I'm going to say it straight up on this podcast. I will be quoted as saying Clara was a great doctor. But you know what? It's really a kind of slap in the face to go from, you know what, I guess I'll be leaving. And everyone's like, oh, okay, so she's going to be leaving. Last hurrah. To, not only am I staying, I'm now the main character. Clara might as well had stood on one of those rigs that turns around and had just flipped everyone off. She doesn't move. She just stands on it, and then she's have two middle fingers, and they're spinning her around.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He was like, I can see her doing that. So oh my God, around her is every doctor. She's just flipping off all the doctors.
God.
Like just I am your superior. But
yeah,
but seriously
basically.
though. Right, but seriously though, yeah, before we move on to Flatline, and I do want to mention, it's just really weird, I think, that Clara was fine now all of a sudden. Like I said, kind of protected by plot or something along those lines. Because personally, I hate this kind of drama in the sense that, as I mentioned a bit earlier in the show, either let the companion go or don't. You know? Where like I don't like
though.
What do you mean?
When she gets the phone call from Danny and she's like, No, it's okay, I'm gonna stay, and then she tells the doctor, yeah, he's totally cool with it, and she's talking to the doctor and the doctor's explaining, she figures it out like, oh, well, it's an addiction, right? What happens if you give it up? And he's like, I don't know, why don't you find that out for me? And that's kind of why, like, she's not giving it up. It's like she doesn't want to feel the fact that it's an addiction because she knows that if she gives it up, she can't live without it.
It's still weird, though. I mean, it is an addiction to go on the TARDIS with the Doctor. It really is. So it's like, look, I understand it. I understand that. It's just, I just don't like that story thing of like the will they, because I've mentioned this before on you and I have not done a Supernatural podcast just yet, but we will soon. Like, that's confirmed. But I mentioned this on the other Supernatural show that, strangely, another Liz that I did with another Liz. And the concept is, but I mentioned this to you in person when we talked about Supernatural. I do not like the will they won't they crap when it comes to like, if it's in a sitcom, it's kind of one of those things where like I consider it okay because it's like a comedy maybe, or there's other things going on. But when it comes to the a more a dramatic, just a drama, right? It kind of, I just don't enjoy it. The will they won't they. Now, yes, this is not the will they get together, will they won't they. It's not that kind. But it's still a will they won't they in a way where it's a will she go, will she not? Not into that. And I mentioned Supernatural. Where does it come there? Not a relationship between Sam and Dean. At least I don't consider it that way. You can ship whatever you want to ship. I don't ship that. Sorry. But the idea is that it's more of a will Sam and Dean leave each other and not be family anymore, or will they be family anymore? Find out on the next Supernatural. With just clips of with just select clips where it's just can't do this anymore, Sam.
The new soap opera.
Yeah, no, because that's what I feel like it is sometimes, where it's kind of just a bit too much of, like, I'm sorry, Sam, but you said you didn't like a ham sandwich, and I love ham sandwiches. I just can't do this anymore. I can't travel with the guy who doesn't like ham sandwiches. Like, but Crowley does.
I told you to make
turkey. That's just how I, seriously, like, that's how I feel. Like, that's how the show can get sometimes. It's like they try to find ways to split them up, and I don't enjoy it, right? Or to bring them back together, and it's just like, guys, could we just have two brothers having a good time while not having a good time because they're being fucked with, but having a time together at the very least. So that's how I feel about when they do stuff like this with, Amy and Rory, or in this case with Clara, where it's just like, okay, so you're leaving. Except that you're not? Okay, so all that tension was really there for nothing. All right, cool. Whatever. Yeah. So anyway, moving on to Flatline, right? Man, this episode is creepy. Seriously.
This episode
was this
was
not
great.
Creepy? It was fucking great. But it was creepy.
It was. Oh, man. This episode was just like beautiful on its own, and I will admit the first time I hated it, not hated it, but I hated it for Clara's doctor, but watching it again, I was like, this is absolutely amazing.
No, it's really funny, because that's what I said, where I mentioned it being a slap in the face, because I can get, if anyone was sitting there already tired of Clara, this episode did not help them at all.
No.
See, me, I can look at it, and the reason why I like it is because, in a weird way, while the Doctor was always there, it was still like a Doctor Light episode. And I've mentioned this earlier in in our last podcast that we did. I like episodes like that. Not that I like episodes without the Doctor, but it is a nice change in pace when you get an episode like Blink.
It is.
Or Midnight.
Yes.
Not Midnight. I'm sorry. Blink or. Well, yeah, Midnight was more of a Donna Light, a companion Light episode. But it's still either way is the idea that it changes up the pace. Even as much as everyone sits there and goes, Love and Monsters is basically a sin against Doctor Who, right? Like I said, I enjoy Doctor Light episodes. So it actually was intriguing to me, the concept. Not so much the practice, but the concept was intriguing to me. And I really enjoyed the cast. We had Moaning Myrtle, and it was an interesting cast.
I was just like,
we
man,
did.
That episode.
We did.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. That episode was great, though. It's one that nobody talks about, but it's just so good.
Yeah, no one ever talks about it. But anyway, so I liked Flatline. I enjoyed their use of practical effects in some cases where, the TARDIS is smaller. Right.
Yes. Great.
Yes. People are being, murdered or trapped in walls. Technically, they were murdered and trapped in walls, but not exactly. It was a very interesting thing. And, again, Clara getting orders from the Doctor. So the Doctor is there, but not exactly. And I think that's what was interesting, where Clara had to make calls of her own, but she's been with the Doctor so much, and the Doctor only takes on people that he trusts. So she was able to make some of the right calls on her own, and it was, and I really liked it. Also, the idea that this kid is Clara's companion.
Yes. Oh, Rigsy was great. Oh,
yeah, that
man.
was funny to me. Where it's just like, wait a minute, you're because he was just like, wow, you really throw your companion into the deep end, and I'm like, wow, shit, that's true. That's her companion. A companion with a companion. It's really interesting. It feels like that one thing where it's just like, oh yes, so my assistant's assistant. Wait, you remember? Have you seen all three Austin Powers movies?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember when number 2 had his number 2?
Yes.
That's how I feel. Where it's just like, there's Dr. Evil, and then there's number 2. And then, number 2 is just like, well, while you were gone, I had my own number 2. And it was just a guy.
That's funny you thought of that, because I thought of Thor the Dark World, where Darcy gets her intern. It's like, oh, my intern's got an intern.
Right, okay. You confused me, because I didn't hear Thor, I heard Sora the Dark World, and I'm like, is that what they're naming Kingdom Hearts 3? I was like, is that the new name for Kingdom Hearts 3? In case anyone doesn't know, by the way, Kingdom Hearts 3 exists, and it's legitimate. Final Fantasy VII Remake is too, by the way. E3 is very weird. E3 brings some interesting things. I don't know if you know that, Liz, but they exist. Yes. They're coming out. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
it's all over everywhere.
We'll talk about that after. But anyway,
okay.
So what did you think that this was? Before we learned that it was an alien of some kind, I thought it was a chameleon monster. Or like a chameleon snake or something.
I have no idea. I thought it was like something similar to what we had with the TVs back in the Tennant era. The TV taking the people's faces. It was.
Right,
I thought it was similar to
the
that.
lantern one, right?
Yeah. I felt like similar qualities to that, but I had no idea what it was. I just really enjoyed the Doctor with his large hand coming out of the TARDIS.
That was brilliant, because at first it was a fun gag. Then they made a reference to Addams Family, and I lost it.
Yes. Oh my God.
Once they made that reference, I was in love. I was like, thank you.
That was
okay.
Brilliant.
Yes. Yeah, no, I thought it was a chameleon only because you look at it and it's quote-unquote in the walls.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, this is in the walls, damn it.
Yeah.
sadly, it was not a chameleon. It was some kind of, it was a great concept, though, 2D aliens. Interesting concept. But before we get to that, though, I want to mention the phone call, which I think you remember, the phone call with Pink, where he called Danny. He calls Clara.
Yeah.
That was hilarious to me because I don't know if you picked up on it, but to me I thought, okay, if he didn't know that she's traveling, even though he didn't know because she didn't tell him, but still, it still sounds like she's cheating on him.
Yeah, I know, because you hear him you hear Riggsy in the background, and then he hears all the the crash, and I'm just like, oh my God, what is poor Piggy thinking?
The crash, the crash was like, okay, you're in trouble. Before the crash, you hear Clara moaning, saying, You hear that there's a guy in the background. I'm like, I don't think that Pink is getting the right impression.
Probably not.
No. But anyway, so speaking of the 2D aliens, though, now that we're here, I liked it as a concept because what's interesting, I didn't realize this, because obviously I don't see these episodes until we're about the podcast about them. I like to get that fresh feeling. And again, I'm jumping back into Doctor Who in a way. Did you notice that it was like the villain in VHS? A movie, independent film that you and I saw recently. In the forest.
Yes.
If anyone hasn't seen VHS, by the way, I can't talk about the third one as I have not seen it, but the first two movies, very, very good movies. Even if you're not a fan of found footage films, I would definitely suggest checking it out because they're definitely different than Paranormal Activity. They aren't full films. They are very short, like a lot of shorts in like the one film itself, and it's the same for the second film. So Liz was able to experience, the idea that, hey, if I don't like one of these shorts, I might like the next one, and you did. You actually liked two of the shorts.
I enjoyed a couple of them.
And I get that because
cool.
But so it reminded me of that, which was weird. The idea of like a 2D being. It was more fleshed out here, of course, because it was a full episode. But it was very interesting. Also, this guy, do you know the guy? That asshole. The guy running the he beats psychic paper.
I know.
It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it's hilarious.
Yeah, and it's people not many can do that unless they have like an overactive imagination. And it's like, well, what the hell is this guy thinking?
Basically, yeah. So yeah, he did not. So he beat the paper, right? We realized that those dead people are aliens. So that was scary as hell, right? Because all of a sudden they're somewhat coming to life through the walls and sucking you up as well, which is, it's funny how in both episodes they kind of had an interesting zombie feel to it, sort of.
Yes.
Like an undead-ish feel.
Yes. But
yeah, what's weird too is I think that this episode, it flip-flopped with the aliens as to what their goal was. And but I'm not saying that was a bad thing. It was intriguing, I think, because it went from, the aliens might not be evil. And it's like, wait, they might be. Did you notice that? It kind of went from
yeah.
So
it was very. The episode itself was just really dark, in that creepy, two-dimensional thing that could just be there, and get you at any time, and it's like, oh, what do I do? Where do I hang?
But
how do I levitate myself?
Basically, yeah. Speaking of that, before we even get to that, I want to mention that the Deflander is a bad name, but apparently Tudis is just fucking fine. Right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to fucking mention that.
What? The Tudis. The Tudis is a cool device, though.
It really is when it's working, right? When it's working, when it's working. Device. Right. So apparently a giant hand, which again is also reminiscent of VHS, comes out of the fucking floor And now they're turning 3D, which I think is a nice step in the sense that they were creepy before, but now they're zombie beings-ish.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
evolving.
Yeah, they're evolving. Now, I mentioned earlier in this episode how I really enjoyed the idea of, doing something without having, blood and guts or just general gore. Now, I'm not saying that I can't understand or even be a fan of, gore and stuff, but my problem, I think, is the idea that, sometimes it feels as if people say, I want to watch this, this adult thing. And it's like, all right, sure. And you watch it with them and you realize that the story's crap or it isn't mature. It isn't adult. It's just that there's blood, and there's gore, and maybe there's even some naked people, right? And all of a sudden it's like, wow, look at this. It is so mature. Only adults can see it. It's like, yes, I'm not saying that some of these things are suitable for children, but it's the idea that I feel as if you don't need it all the time. And I really enjoy seeing works that don't use it or can't, but end up using nice replacements, or nice visual effects that can still be just as scary without overly using blood or gore. And you can notice that a lot in children's shows when they're trying, or in family shows even when they're trying. And, we also podcast on Steven Universe and Gravity Falls, and they have a very, both creators of both shows have a very good grasp on that, where it's like, oh, yeah, we can't show blood, but what are we going to show, or what are we going to do to make people feel uncomfortable if we need to make a scary episode, right? And the same thing happens here as well, where it's just, hey, so we're not going to have blood and guts and people actually getting sawed in half and then blood spewing from them, right? But it's still creepy enough as it is, because having that guy half morph into the wall is still terrifying. Having these zombie creatures come out and be glitching out as they're walking towards you is still pretty scary.
Granted, yes, very much.
Yeah, very much so. Now, okay, so the Cousin It thing was hilarious because we're here. I mean, the guy, hit Clara accidentally and the TARDIS fell, but it's on the train track, and they make an Addams Family reference. And then the Doctor is apparently Cousin It. And I sat there and thought,
Thing.
You know what? Oh, I'm sorry, Thing. Wow, I said It way too many times. I'm an idiot. Thing. It's been so long since I've watched Addams Family. That's what happened. I know people. There's Gomez. There's Morticia. There's Pugsley. And there's Wednesday. I know all the names. Confuse who's who. So I don't know which one's Morticia or Gomez
and Lurch.
Or Wednesday or Pugsley. What?
Or Lurch.
Or, oh no, I love Lurch. You ring. I love Lurch so much. You have no idea how much I love Lurch. But anyway, so the Doctor ends up putting the TARDIS in some kind of conservation mode, which is interesting. Right? And and so before the Doctor gives that speech to Clara gives her own speech because now she's the Doctor. And it's funny because she talks about, it feels like she doesn't like when the Doctor's mean. But she was just mean to the kid, and it was hilarious. Because it's like, well, I guess I'll mourn your death, except when I'm not. And I was like, damn it, that's actually, smart.
Yeah, when she used her headband.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, that's crazy to have to explain a missing train. Someone has to explain where the train went and why there's graffiti on the wall. Seriously, someone has to explain where an entire train went and why there's graffiti on the wall. How crazy is that? No, but still, how crazy is that? So where'd the train go? Unsure. Someone drew the same exact train on the wall? Yeah, sure. Right? Imagine if they had taken over the train. That would have been nuts.
Oh, my God.
As in, they would have became the train. That would have been nuts. But sadly, we were unable to see that. But okay.
Dude, if they would have showed these episodes reversed.
That would have been funny. Okay, so actually that would have been really funny. 2 episodes with trains in a row. It's a train-spiracy.
Oh, no.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! So the doctor's speech to Clara. What did you think about that? Because I really thought it was beautiful, and I really liked it.
Yes, I really enjoy Capaldi speaking a lot, so I really like that.
So you enjoy a lot of what Capaldi says?
Yes.
Like as, his doctor?
Yes. Yeah, I think he comes off
good.
as a really decent doctor, like, especially when the time calls for it. I mean, yeah, he can be arrogant at times, but, like we've seen his past, we know in certain situations he needs to be, but, I think when it really comes down to it, when it's really necessary, he's there and, he tells everybody what they either need to hear or what he feels that, is most important for them to hear.
Right,
and,
right. But,
I think he did a really good job at talking to Clara.
Yeah, it was really nice. I really enjoyed his speech to her. He really thought he was going to die or that she was dying or, was dead. And it was really sweet. I will admit, though, as I said before, while she was a great doctor, pushing her as if she may as well be the doctor, because there are times when companions one-up the doctor. It happens. It happens a lot, to be fair. But it really feels like it's like, hey, she can be a replacement for the doctor. And it's like, well, no, But she's still able to make some great calls, but no, not a replacement. Like, the doctor doesn't, I made that whole thing before when I the whole story where I was like, oh, if the doctor wanted to stop. It's not like if he has to stop and be like, and Clara will be my replacement. No, thank you. No, thank you. Also, the doctor's speech to the aliens was pretty cool, too, because it's like, hey, I don't know if you're good or if you're bad, but right now you're being bad, so then I'm going to have to be the guy that hunts the bad things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was, because he just came out all pumped, and it was like, yeah.
No, I felt it, because usually, I don't know, I feel like he can be energetic, but I feel like it's usually kind of subdued. But this was kind of one of those moments where it's like, you know what? Like one of those like old school, like, I am the doctor and you are the thing that isn't the doctor.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I want you to understand who I am because I don't know what you are, but I want you to understand what I am. And I want you to understand what this earth is. And it's like, oh my God. But anyway, so yeah, I really, enjoyed that. And like I said earlier about the other guy in the last episode, I really thought this was a cool kid. And I just hate that they keep on giving us cool people, but they don't become companions.
I would have loved to have seen Riggsy as a companion.
It just makes sense in a weird way. Like, oh, by the way, it's not even like they give us, okay, if the doctor had not taken that guy last episode as a companion, right? But in this episode, the doctor was alone, right? And he didn't take this guy as a companion, but he worked with him. Now, yes, it would have taken away a lot of the cool stuff in this episode, because I really do like the way this episode worked out a lot, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
Still, just saying, if that had been the new episode, it'd have been like, oh, well, he didn't take him as a companion, but at least he's there. He was there for an episode, right? That's cool. But just like the other guy technically was there for the episode, while Clara was this, kind of, it was technically a companion-light episode in a weird way, which I think would have been weird. To be fair, would have been weird for Clara's last hurrah, I guess, to be completely fair. It's just, where was Clara for half of the episode? Trapped in a room.
Yeah.
So I will admit, I probably should have seen that coming, but because it would have been a very weird episode to end it on, But anyway, so still, he was with this other guy, so it's like, okay, you don't take him, fine, because you were able to hang out together for a bit, but now you have the doctor and this kid, and it really would have been cool to have him as a companion, but he isn't. And it's not just that the person isn't a companion. It's the idea that it's like, in a way, they've chosen Clara over these new alternatives.
Yeah.
You
I know.
bring up this.
I definitely.
To bring up pro wrestling just for a split second, or at least WWE's version. I'm not trying to compare Clara to the person that I'm about to say, but it's a similar situation, right? It's the idea that for some of you who might not be a fan of professional wrestling, there's someone you might know, even if you're not a fan, named John Cena, right? Now, I'm not trying to compare the two, Liz. Liz knows about WWE. Not trying to compare the two. I'm just saying that it's a similar situation where for a very long time, John Cena was a guy who was at the top. No matter what the fans said, I mean, yes, not all fans were unified against him, but still, no matter what the fans said, it was just as if he was being shoved down our throats as the second coming of Jesus Christ. Technically the second coming of Hulk Hogan, if you know. And it was a little frustrating for some people. And a lot of people ended up tuning out, or, generally it was just, they kept going, but only for everything else that was happening. Literally just, it's like, oh, Cena's in the main event tonight? All right, I just won't watch the main event. Right? So yeah. But anyway, his role has been reduced recently. But still, the idea is that he was the guy that was at the top, regardless of what you thought about it. And when you do this in something like WWE, you are taking away from anyone else, because if you're putting him at the top, that means no one else can be there. There's only room for one at the top of the mountain in the way WWE sets up its structure, right? So in the way that Doctor Who has recently set up its structure, yes, they had someone else as a companion. They had Courtney. But even then, she was quickly disposed of, right? With no mention.
Yeah.
And it's always like, oh, Libby can have a chance of getting someone else. And then we just don't. And it's Clara again.
Yeah, basically.
It kind of hurts you a bit, right? It kind of hurts a little. So, yeah, I mean, again, nothing against Clara, which is really funny because everyone's like, no, Matt, everything against Clara. Don't lie to us. But no, it's just that, it gets frustrating when you're even putting cool people up against her, like really cool people.
Yeah.
But Clara still wins.
Yeah, but just like, what are you doing?
Yeah. But anyway, so before we, wrap everything up, Missy's watching Clara. That's unusual.
Very, and
right?
it's really,
hey, that's unusual.
It's such a cryptic scene.
It's really funny because they've built her up like, oh, is this like heaven? Is this another plane? She's watching her through a fucking iPad. Like, okay. Like, I guess
I've chosen well. What have you chosen well for? I'm so confused.
That's the thing too. It's just like, I've chosen well. It's just like, okay. Like, if Clara becomes Missy, I'm gonna be pissed. If this is gonna be some Anakin shit, I'm gonna be pretty pissed.
Oh,
I mean, you knew it was coming then,
Use
but
the
still,
Force, Use the Force.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was coming with Anakin, but still, I'm gonna be pretty pissed here. But anyway, so before we wrap everything up, again, I want to ask you, which of these two episodes did you like the most?
Oh, why do you ask me this? I can never choose.
I can't either.
That's why you ask me. This isn't fair. I enjoyed the references on Mummy on the Orient Express to the candy and to Are You My Mummy?
Yes.
But I really liked Flatline for Clara actually getting a look into what it is to be the Doctor and to, have to tell people, like, it's going to be okay, and having to lie to them to give them hope because, people with hope move faster. And, she was like, oh, come on, tell me I was good, wasn't I? And he was like, yes, you were an exceptional doctor, but goodness has nothing to do with it. And it's just like, I felt it was more powerful in that moment, like, between the two of them, because she gets a great, I mean, she's been traveling with the Doctor for a while, granted, but I feel like she gets a really broader idea of what the Doctor really, really is. Who this version is.
Yes, you mentioned that in our last podcast, and it didn't really hit until this episode. So I think I understand what your mentality is now. Based on this episode,
yeah.
I understand that completely, and I can see how that's another kind of running theme. One thing I want to mention is, I think I liked Flatline more as well, specifically because it didn't have that teasing crap, right?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? If we figured out she was still a companion in this episode, I could blame it on this episode instead of last one, but we found it out last episode, so I can blame it on that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so because of the teasing, and also, by the way, because of the fact that the murder mystery kind of died rather easily, like it picked up as a murder mystery, and you're like, that's cool. And then it died because the Doctor still kind of never really found out who was, which, I mean, is a cool mystery in the world, I think. But still, it's, because it's always fun to have a mystery in Doctor Who overall. But the idea is, it's kind of like, oh, man, who is the murderer? No, it really is a mummy. Like, legit. It was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is someone projecting a ghost? Is this Scooby-Doo? No. It's legit a mummy that wants to eat your energy. Oh, and also it's a soldier. Like, you know what it reminds me of? American Horror Story Season 2. Just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. Right? It's a mummy. It's a mummy, but it's also a vampire. But it doesn't steal blood. It steals energy psychically. And also, it used to be a soldier.
Yeah,
like,
how did you feel when the Doctor realizes that the mummy was a soldier, and he saluted the Doctor, and the Doctor was like all like admiral on him?
Yeah, no, well, that's the thing. We've mentioned before on the show that the Doctor is essentially a general in a way. And it's what I think was interesting though is that he was he was just a soldier. It was interesting. But before we finish, I just want to say, because I was going to finish my joke, I was going to say that not even is he just a soldier, he's a Nazi.
Yeah.
Because American Horror Story Season 2, everyone, he's a vampire who's a mummy who absorbs energy psychically and is also a soldier, but a Nazi soldier. So it's all everything into one, people. And that's what we're ending the show on tonight.
Doctor Who, everybody.
Doctor Who, everyone, right? So anyway, we would like to thank you guys for listening to those guys. Definitely check out some of our older shows. Now, where can you check those out? Well, you can check those out via our website, which is also our Tumblr, which is thoseguysonthe.tumblr.com. You can check a lot of our older shows there, being our WWE Monday Night Raw shows, our WWE pay-per-views, and we've also done a whole bunch of shows. I'm going to list them, at least whatever comes to mind right now. Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, Black Dynamite, Mike Tyson Mysteries, Gotham, Arrow, Flash, The Walking Dead, Supernatural, obviously Doctor Who. We've also done Pokemon video games, as well as Dragon Ball Z movies, Dragon Ball movies, and Bleach movies. And many more that I can't think of right now, but you can check out the archives again on our website, thoseguysonthe.radio.tumblr.com, or through our Blog Talk Radio, which is blogtalkradio.com/thoseguysonthe.radio. Any new shows will not only be posted on our website and, of course, on our Blog Talk Radio, will be posted on our Facebook, which is Those Guys on the Radio, Facebook/Those Guys on the Radio. Also our Twitter @Those Guys Radio, where you'll get constant updates about our shows, as well as our Instagram /Those Guys on the Radio. Now, another interesting thing is if you want to see some of our older shows or listen to our older shows, you can also do it through our iTunes, which you look up Those Guys Radio or Those Guys on the Radio, and you can see our, older content on there as well. You can download them, put them on your whatever your listening device, whatever it may be. iTunes, of course, I would assume an iPod or an iPhone, but whatever it may be. And also, you can check us out through YouTube. Now, our YouTube has been posted on some of our social media accounts, so you can check it out through there. That's how you consume your media. Then, you can see a lot of our older shows. We're constantly updating because we're constantly doing more shows. But a decent amount of our shows are shorter shows, because our Raws are 2 hours long. So a decent amount of our pay-per-views. So a decent amount of our shorter shows are on our YouTube. So you can definitely check them out there. And, also our Gmail being thoseguysonthe.radio@gmail.com. You can email us there if you want to suggest show ideas. The same with our website. You can send us show ideas. Or you can email us if you have any promotional opportunities. If you want us to promote your product, to promote your service, we can do that through our radio show. We can come to an agreement, come to some kind of deal. Please email us. We would love to talk to you guys. So, here we are, Liz.
Here we are.
Here we are. So, anything to say before I end the show?
I'm about to go get on a TARDIS right now, so.
Liz lies constantly, everyone. She actually hated both episodes. She's not even a fan of Doctor Who. She doesn't even like it. She's never even watched one episode.
That's right. I lied. Actually, I'm about to get into 67 Impala, so.
Sure, you know what that is. She doesn't even know. She just says words from Supernatural. She doesn't even know what that is. She's never even heard of an Impala. She knows nothing of famous bands of yesteryear. She knows nothing. I wanted to see if you'd go for something else, but no, apparently that stopped you.
I was
All right,
going to. No.
Have a good night, everybody. We're signing out. Nope, we're done, Liz. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.